It's always going to be known as a pit. I think they understand that. I think they got into partnership because they want to support our athletic programs, and they've always been fans. I think that's the biggest thing that you take from it. At least that's what I take from it. Steve's been a big supporter. I've known Michael, but Steve's been a big supporter of ours, and he just wanted to do something big for the university and the athletic program. So it's good. But it's a little different.
Put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. I've ate at Vernon's.
And how was it?
Vernon's is excellent. Vernon's is excellent. But I'm sure I haven't been there lately because there's not one that's close to me, but I'm sure I'll get to there, but they're going to go up everywhere. I mean, their business plan, but and that's one thing that I've understood and I'm not trying to get one thing about this state that people don't realize, even though I know you went to New Mexico State, it's the state in general. They're very proud people. And I think by having a local guy, a local business is huge. And I understand when we lose games, people are upset. And I understand that when we win games, they're happy. And that's just the pride. And I think that's we don't talk about that enough. And I understand being here long enough now that what it's about and how important it is. It's important to my family. It's important to me, and I take it very seriously. But that's a perfect example of, I think two guys stepped up, a company stepped up, and have a lot of New Mexico. They're proud. They're proud of what we have here in this state, and they're proud of our university. So on to the game. Have a lot of respect for Marvin. I got a lot of respect for Paul because Paul used to work for us at Iowa. So, I think they've done a great job with their program. They're always been the team to beat since we've been here in the WAC. And that always leads to they've had numerous NCAA bids. And you got to give them credit for that. But it's going to be a tough game for us. They got veteran players. They got seniors. Mullins is really, really good. He's by far one of the best guards in that league, might be one of the best guards in the country. Baker's a really solid point guard from D.C., and then Eldridge is a junior college kid that played at New Mexico Junior College who's a solid player. I don't know if Chili will play. Followed him since high school, so he's a terrific player, but I think he's got some kind of stress reaction, kind of like what Alex. I don't know. I'm not. But I like their team. Barry's back for, I think, his 6th year. So he's had some medical issues, but he's really improved his game. And, they got good bench players, and they play a different style. They press a lot. They try to speed it up. They score in transition. They score on offensive rebounding. I think 42% or 44% of their offense is off offensive rebounding. So very similar to Texas A&M game. We're going to have to defensive rebound. And then we just have to do things. We're going to have to be able to control the ball. Playing last night and only having 12 turnovers was a positive sign. We had some positive signs. But we got to continue to teach, continue to get better. The biggest thing is I just want my guys to play hard and get better every day and try to develop into the team that they can become. And that's a process.
What is it about Mullins that makes him so good?
Well, I think one of the reasons why he's so good and what makes him so good is he's always aggressive. He's always on the attack. And, he's been like that since he's been in high school. And he's had a great career there. But I think what makes him so potent is his aggressiveness and his attack mode.
What's this rivalry like for you, Coach?
I mean, it's as big as any rivalry, I've been a part of. I mean, it's 2 state schools, and, we've been fortunate to be, I don't know what it's been since we've been here. I don't really keep track of it, but we've had success, and they've beat us last year. So, they've won. I think they've won 2 games in here. 1 game, 2 games. I don't recall the other one. But it's as good as it gets. Should be a sellout, and it's been that way the last 3 or 4 years where it's 2 NCAA tournament teams, and you're going to play a tournament team tomorrow or Wednesday. They're going to be in a tournament, unless they get for some unknown reason they have, knock on wood for them and knock on wood for us, injuries like we've gotten. And right now they have one with Chile, but they've got pretty good depth, and their guards make them go. But I like their team.
I know you spoke highly of Chile, and you don't know if he's playing or not. The Wyoming game on Saturday, they were able to probably run even a little bit more because Chile wasn't
right. It's kind of like our team last year.
Right. I mean, you'll obviously take the big.
Well, I think if you look at his numbers last year and you look at his numbers this year, there's a major difference. And I think last year, with Bular, he didn't have to go against the bigger of the two. This year I think he's getting the biggest guy on the other team, which is it's different. I mean, it's very similar when Alex was out, but it didn't phase Cam because Cam was able to do it strength-wise and quickness-wise, and it's one of those things. But, he's a terrific player, and I wish him the best. I mean, we recruited him a little bit. He's a nice kid, and he's had good success. You don't want to see – the bottom line is you don't want to see any kid hurt. That's the bottom line.
Is Hugh putting too much pressure on himself, or the other guys relying on him too much that he's taking shots maybe he normally wouldn't? Or?
I think it's a little bit of trying to do too much, putting a lot of pressure on himself to lead. I think he's just got to relax and let the game come to him. Maybe not so one-sided, like where it's come down, come off ball screen, shoot a bad shot. Let it come to him. But I think he puts a lot on himself. The only thing that, I'm going to try to stress to him is I've never seen him play a 34-minute game and have one rebound, and, that's just not him. And even though I do think he can score the ball, I think he has to continue to do the things that's made him the player that he is. But I do think he can score the ball because I think there'll be shots for him, but it has to be in the offense. I think he's just been pressing, trying to make things happen, and that's part of it. But, it's not like I've told him not to shoot or stop shooting. So, it was just one of those off days, and I said it last night. If I get 15 and 12 out of Devin and 10 and 11 out of Obach, then I think we're going to win the game. But those guys are showing improvement, so that's a good sign. But we just have to, we had two things last night, and you guys know this because you guys study it. We had a stretch in the first half where we took the lead, and then we go on a 2-minute stretch, 3-minute stretch where we lose the lead and we're out. And then we have it tied 47-47. We have a chance we have a 3-point shot to go up 48-45. We miss it. All right? And then we come down and they score and we go up. It's 47-47, and they get an uncontested layup that shouldn't happen. I mean, it happened, but it shouldn't happen. So you're right in the game with Texas A&M with 7 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go. You're down 1. This game you're tied with 5 minutes, almost the 4-minute mark. You're right there, and we got to figure that out. That's why I called those times. That's why I tried to calm them down, saying, "Hey, we're right there. You got to make 2 or 3 plays, but you can't make mental breakdowns defensively," and that's what happened. So hopefully we'll continue to get better. But I just want my guys to continue to develop, work hard, get on the floor, be a good teammate, and play as hard as they can. And I think at times last night they did. I just think we didn't make shots and we didn't play very well. And like I said, it was a Southern Miss game. It wasn't a Southern Miss game. When I said that was the worst one since Southern Miss, it wasn't Southern Miss. It was the year we went 3-4, and you have to look it up. We got beat at home. I can't remember what team beat us at home. Somebody beat us at home. We started off 3-4. I think that was with Ferris's team, Tony Danner's and Ferris's team. I don't know what game it was. That was the game I was referring to. The Southern Miss game was not. We didn't play very well, and that became like the thing with the handshake line and all that. But we didn't play well that game either. But we did get beat in the pit, and it was very similar to last night. But they're a young team, and they got some really good players that they're finding their way too.
You talked about your team being at 47-47 and having in the A&M game moments of 2-3 minutes where they just kind of let it
right.
go. New Mexico State seems to be a team that comes in flurries and
right.
Especially with their press, they can score 6-8 points in a matter of a minute. But then they can also get in foul trouble over several possessions in a row.
Right.
Do you talk to your team about the fact that New Mexico State, regardless of what happened with A&M and yesterday, this is a team that's going to come and go?
Yeah, because they try to they try to do some things to you to speed you up, which we've never had a lot of problems in the past because we do some things against their press where we control the ball. You know, the one thing that we can't let happen is them go on 8-0 runs, 9-0 runs 2 or 3 times in a half. You can't let them go in a 4-minute game and they go up 11-2. Or you just can't let that happen. You have to make them score in a half court. Now, that's easier said than done. And it's always been easier said than done, and we've been successful sometimes, and we haven't been successful before. But it's like last year, I think they got out. They were up 25-4. I think they were up 25-4, and we had a chance to tie the game. So it's always been a battle like that. I'm hoping that we stay right there with them and see what happens. But it should be a fun game.
It seems like Mullings has those similar type of flurries. How do you try and slow him down?
Well, we've always had success because Kendall always did a good job on him. And now Kendall's not here, so I'm sure we'll have a lot of guys guarding him. But I think the biggest thing is you got to realize if he has the ball in transition and you have 3 back, he's still coming at you. He's not waiting for anybody. He's still coming. And I think teams don't understand that. And I think that's one thing that we've been able to understand, that we've got to do a better job in transition defense where our bigs run back and cup the ball. And what I mean by cup the ball, knowing that the ball's here and they got to run to the level of the ball. Don't worry about their guys being back. But, with O and Devin and Joe, they're new guys. And they got to figure that out. It's things that we've worked on. Now they just got to put forth on the floor that we don't make those mistakes. But I mean, we literally had, and you guys watched our game, we literally had 3 possessions that cost us that was just all communication. It was just all somebody saying, hey, I got this guy, or hey, this, it was all communication. And that's a young team.
When you're not able to get out on the break and you have the scoring droughts,
Mm-hmm.
and you anticipate the Aggies coming in here and wanting to run,
Right.
and your guys are trying to figure it out, is there an opportunity where this could be a game tailor-made to your team, where they're not thinking so much and they're just going out and playing?
It could help us. It could help us. It could help us. Our biggest thing is we just didn't make shots. I mean, if you look at the tape, and I watched it 3 times, we had wide open opportunities. We had chances where we could have thrown it ahead on the break and had guys attack the rim, and we just didn't. We made the wrong play. And I think that's just new guys playing. I mean, Timmy Jacobs played 19 minutes in a Division I, high Division I game that he probably was never expecting to play when he first got here. And he did a nice job. But there's a lot of guys that made some plays that it's just used to playing with each other and playing at that stage. But hopefully that'll help us. Hopefully that'll help us where they're not thinking so much. But, it's new. And we got to continue to get better than that. But hopefully it will help us.
From coaching standpoint, can you see these guys in the games maybe like aiming it a little bit more instead of that free shot that you would see in practice? Is that a fair assessment maybe?
I said it on the radio. I think we had a lot of shot takers, not a lot of shot makers. I think that's all. It's like they've always, there's people that always say, well, I lost my confidence. I've never believed that, because the only person that can take your confidence is yourself. And some of these guys got to, Arian said a great thing last night about his Cardinal football team. He said, hey, the bottom line is look in the mirror. Starts with the guys looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of our guys have to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to help the team? And that's what our job is, to help them. Our job's to mentor them. Our job's to teach them. Our job's to teach them the right way, but they still have to do it at the end.
Along those same lines, because you've lost 3 players that aren't available for you.
Right.
Is it easier on you that you just plug in A, B, and C, or is it harder on you because you got to try and figure out without these 3 guys?
Well, I think it's hard because it's not what you expected out of your team or what you were going to have. I think it's harder in the sense that you still got to win games and you still got to compete at a high level. And you got to put guys in situations and put pieces in, and like you said, plug in guys that weren't there, and they've got to play at a high level so that you can compete at a high level. So it's hard because it's not what you expected, and you're trying to teach young guys on the fly and give them opportunities. But I'm just telling you, if you talk to Sam or you talk to X right now, they don't know what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. And that's part of the learning process. But I can't do that for them. All I can do is coach them and teach them and show them on tape, and they have to figure that out. It's like X. bless him, he plays his butt off. But you can't take a shot when you're a freshman. The first 3 possessions of the game, you don't even run up and down the floor and you take a 3-point contested. That's not. We don't even let veteran guys do that. That's some things that they got to learn, and then you got to be ready to play because you're out there. It's not a 5-minute window where you can keep going. You get. Well, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get your game. Get up and down and get a lap. That doesn't work like that.
Last night in the postgame, you mentioned the tape doesn't lie, and you said it was going to be a chance for them to.
Yeah, I wish you guys could watch the tape.
How did they respond?
I haven't watched it yet. 2:30, they get an hour of it.
Okay.
So just so you guys know, we're not going to practice. It's open. We're going to shoot. We're going to walk through some stuff. So, you can come watch them shoot for 30 minutes, but we're not going to practice because we need to be fresh for the game. But they're going to have an hour film session, and they're going to be shocked.
Coach, is Goodman possibly playing Wednesday?
He can't play. He can't play because of the concussion. Concussion protocol is 10 days, and then after the 10 days, then he's reassessed. So probably be back after finals.
What about Devin now? I know he hit his head, but he's okay though to play, right?
Yeah, he seemed to. I don't know. I haven't talked to Nate, but he seems like he's okay. He came back in and played well, but he's doing good.
With the 2 other injuries you're waiting on, Colin and Arthur, what do you think, as a coach, the chances are that one of them might get redshirted?
I would say one of the 2. So I would say one of the 2. I think we could go the whole year without one of them, and maybe the whole year without both of them. But right now, I'd say the possibility is 1 out of the 2.
Is one more likely than the other?
Yeah.
Who's that?
What's that?
Which one?
I'd rather not say because then that puts them in a bad spot. I just think it's going to be dealing on Arthur's hand. He started out with a long splint, and they said he could, and now he's got a short splint on that he's able to use his other knuckles. So, if he can come back and he's healed, he'll be back sooner. With Cullen's deal, that's the worst possible thing. He'd been better off having a fracture, and his whole thing is you're talking about somebody that went through a year where he wasn't healthy till February, and last year, and then he's going to miss. How many games? If he goes in where he's missing 10, 12 games, then, it's got to do what Cullen wants to do, not what the coach wants him to do, and then Dad's got to step in. But I'm not going to put him out there unless he's okay. And I know right now he would go out there and play if I'd let him play. But you're talking about a kid that relies on his feet a lot. So it's not easy. So it'll be one of those things day by day.
So do we have to, I know Sam and Xavier weren't 3-point shooters in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And are we going to have to make somebody learn how to shoot threes? Because we don't have.
Well, I think they're developing. I think they're developing. I think we knew that coming in, but I think we've got a really good 3-point shooter that's sitting out, and we got 3 more coming. So we have recruited that scenario. It's just that they can't get here till next year, and one of them's got to sit out. So I think we've done our needs, and I think they'll develop. But if I think Didi's become a pretty good 3-point shooter. I think he can make that shot. I know Cullen can. I know Hugh can. It's just that we've started off. The only one that's really started off good shooting the ball is Cullen, and he can't play. So I think our shooting will be much improved, but we got to take care of this year. But they're not going to develop overnight. Plus, you got to. I was a really good shooter in high school, till my wrist was reconstructed my sophomore year. But I could will shots in my junior and senior year in college. I think you can, if you're confident enough, you can make shots. And I think those guys will get confidence. I think Sam made a shot last night. He made a 3 last night, took one at the top that went and out. I think he's become a really good shooter. He's vastly improved than when he got here, and that's all just reps. And I think they're putting in the time.
That'll do it, Coach. They go off the film.
You got it? What do you got? I'll stay.
Just same starters?
Yeah, same starters. I didn't address that. I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys.